Hey, what's up, good people? It's Jay Ray, the co-host of Q Points, and I wanted to come to you because there are two really important ways that you can support our show. One is by subscribing to it wherever you listen to or watch your podcasts. Q Points is pretty much everywhere. The other thing that you can do is you can visit us on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, and on Podchaser, and you can leave us a star rating. Please rate us 5 stars because you know you love Q Points. And on Apple Podcasts and on Podchaser, you can actually leave us a written review. It's not required, but it really does help to spread the word about the show, and it helps people to discover it as they're looking for new podcasts to listen to. We're always appreciative of you supporting Q Points. We thank you so much for all that you've done for us so far, and enjoy the show.
Yes, greetings and welcome to another episode of Q Points Podcast, dropping the needle on Black music history. I am DJ Sir Daniel.
And my name is Jay Ray, sometimes known by my government as Johnny Ray Cornegay III. Good evening, people.
Jay Ray, we've got another one for the books this evening. This is going to be a super rocking show. I cannot wait for our special guest to come through.
Yes.
But before we get to all of that, stuff, what's going on with you, brother? How are you?
You know what? I'm real good. This has been it's been a busy week, but it's been a productive week, and I like it when I have a productive week. The weather's been nice. It's been sunny, no rain. Knock on composite wood. And and my birthday is on Saturday.
Your birthday is Saturday, so that's an automatic turn up. As a matter of fact, everybody that's listening, I'm going to do this at the end of the episode as well. Everybody that's listening right now, I want you to flood Johnny Ray Cornegay. Johnny Ray Cornegay. Jay Ray is the name. Wherever you know him, wherever you know his inbox, wherever you DM him and hit him up on social media, just flood him with the largest amounts of birthday love. Coming up on the 20th, you will be the big 4.
I'll be 46. Say that.
All right. Listen, because the alternative,
baby,
to being turning 46 is not as fun. So
right.
Happy, yes, I agree. We're getting some happy birthday messages already in the chat for you. But yes, let's start the birthday love off already for our brother Jay Ray. But yes, I wish I could say the same thing here about weather. The temperature here has dropped. It went from being super hot to now it dropped. It rained all day. I don't know if y'all can hear it, but my sinuses are trying to do a thing. Mm-hmm. But, I'm going to persevere and push through all of that because, Jay Ray, among all the other wonderful things, we have the award-winning.
Yes.
The award-winning Anna DeShawn is on the show this episode. So I'm pulling it together. I'm getting myself together because we have greatness in the building.
Yes.
But Jay Ray, what else do we need to let the people know, to our listeners to know about Q Points and how they can keep in contact with us?
Absolutely. If you are joining us this evening, that is amazing. You should hit subscribe wherever you are joining us from. If you are listening to the replay of the show, you should go ahead and hit subscribe there. And one of the best ways that you can support Q Points is by sharing the show. If you know folks that love good conversation, that love music conversation, you should share the show with them, because if you're into it, chances are your friends is going to be into it too. So make sure that they know about the show. It really does help us to spread the word. The other thing that you can do is go a step further. If you want to support Q Points and the work that we do monetarily, because it do take money for us to be doing Q Points.
Amen.
You can support us by becoming a Q Points insider. If you visit qpoints.com, click the subscribe button. You can get our entire archive of videos. This is show 101.
Hey. We're
So
one
there,
step.
yeah, so there are 97 shows in the archive. No, 87 shows in the archive that you could just go watch. And you could do that by becoming an insider. And there's some other goodies and stuff like that you get too. Last but certainly not least, is you can shop for gear in our store. If you go to store.qpoints.com, you can shop for some gear, and that's another way to support us. So listen, lots of things. I wanted to run through real quick the agenda for tonight so folks know what's going down, because you probably are like, when are they going to get to the part where they talk about Black queer women in music? We're going to get there, but here's what's going to happen. We have some things that we need to cover that are happening in the universe right now, so we're going to do that. It's a lot. Although we're shortening this, we'll probably get to, and however, we'll cover other stuff. So we have a few things.
For sure.
So we're going to cover some stuff in pop culture. We're going to chat with, of course, introduce Anna DeShawn, talk to her about her award-winning work. And then following that segment, we are going to discuss our main music topic, which is the Black queer women music renaissance.
So we're not going to hold you all. We're going to get right to it. There's lots of things to celebrate. Aside from J. Ray's birthday coming up, some friends of the show have been putting in some serious work, and it's like Christmas around here because new music is dropping everywhere. It's dropping all around us. We got the 30th anniversary of the Janet album about to be re-released with extra remixes and whatnot, and I might have to break open the bank account for that one. What else? There's plenty of other releases that are around us, but we're most happy and we're always gratified when we see our friends, people that we know in person, getting busy and putting new music out. Let's start with Saint Smith. Saint Smith was on the show, last year?
Yeah, last summer,
and we were able to participate in a really dope discussion of his. I was able to see his Water to Wine day party, gospel day party, which was a huge success, and I hope that he brings that back. But now he is dropping his debut album, and we feel really blessed to have been able to preview the album. And it's a smash. It is a smash, folks.
It is. Congratulations to Saint Smith. We put the link in the chat, and we will also make sure that it's in the description for anybody who's listening to the replay. But we actually talked about him working on this album when we interviewed him last year, and so it's nice to see this album coming to fruition. It is dope. Y'all need to definitely check it out. If you are into classic R&B, if you're into vocals, if you're into layering, think very Brandy and all of the vocal layering, you need to be up and getting this Saint Smith. And it comes out officially tomorrow. So you can get you a copy, buy them CDs, or buy the download, y'all. So buy the download.
Yes, for all you oldsters out there like me, get you a physical copy and an MP3. Ain't nothing like having it right there at your access. So shout out to Saint Smith, but the one and only, and we're handing out accolades, the one and only Rob Milton, songwriter extraordinaire, vocalist, that has written joints for people like Monica. Is back with a beautiful music video that dropped the other night, and he also has another project on the way, called Wish You Well. So I'm super excited about what Rob is about to offer us this time around, because the brother is consistent, and that's the main thing you have to be in this industry this day.
Absolutely. So definitely please check out the music video for Over. Rob's EP Wish You Well will be out next Friday. So look, you're getting some stuff back to back. This week you getting Saint Smith, next week you are getting Rob Milton. And once again, stellar songwriting, amazing vocalist, and as we said when we had Rob here, one of the hardest working men in music. So definitely support him as well. So shout out to Saint Smith and Rob Milton from your brothers over at Q Points. We are so proud of y'all and all the work that you do.
So we've been covering this technology thing in all different aspects because it affects what we do as podcasters, but it also affects music because a lot of our friends are musicians and DJs, and so technology is affecting all of us. But now it's also affecting content creators, specifically when it comes to TikTok. They are starting, a lot of different states are starting to ban TikTok.
Yep.
And Montana has officially pulled the trigger and has banned TikTok in that area. And there could actually be legal ramifications if you're caught TikToking, which is wild. Which is why we are definitely heading into dystopian futuristic movie territory where, you know, there's one rule and one god rule, and everybody has to fall underneath what this person is saying, or else there'll be dire consequences. It's getting kind of scary out there. I'm not gonna even hold you. I think the foreshadowing and the foretelling of this day and age has been, we've seen it.
Yeah.
We've seen it before, and now it's actually happening in front of our eyes.
Yeah, you know what? You are absolutely right. This is an interesting moment. So the way the law, which got signed, when did they sign it? They signed it it was really, really recently. But the way the law is working in Montana right now is that it is going to impose fines of $10,000 per day on any mobile store, so Apple App Store, the Android store, the Play Store. If you have the app available in that state, right? There's a lot of, I'm sure Apple and Google are scrambling trying to figure out how to make sure that if someone is in Montana, that they can't download TikTok right now. So as of right now, this law is going to take place on the law is going to take effect on January 1st, 2024. Right now, they are not subjecting actual TikTok users to the fines right now. But to DJ Sir Daniel's point, we are inching closer and closer because they've already done it on the government side, right? So the federal government, if you have a federal government phone, you can't have TikTok on it, or problems, right? So this is an interesting moment that we're in, but Montana is the first state to officially ban TikTok from being able to be downloaded. And a lot of, I actually don't know any folks in Montana, but if you're listening to us and you're in Montana, let us know what's up what's been happening in the stores.
And I think we've mentioned this already on the show. What this is really boiling down to is it's a roundabout way to stymie this new generation that is creating generational wealth on their own without having to depend, or without having to become a cog in the wheel. And so, yeah, I think it's a way of silencing people's voices, because when the as you know, during the summers of what is that, 2020, during the pandemic and the Black Lives Matter movements after the murders and the all of that, those things we got to communicate through social media.
Yep.
And so they're trying to chop us off at the legs, at the knees, because they know that's how, especially young people, that's how we communicate. That's how news is disseminated a lot faster than the media that they were controlling, because they held the purse strings. And that's what it all comes down to: money and control. Money and control. So yeah,
truth. So staying on the technology tip for our last kind of weekly update, if y'all remember, we probably talked about this a couple of weeks ago, either on this show or on However Comma. Timbaland was so amped because he was like, yo, I did this joint. I've always wanted to work with Biggie. I never got a chance to work with Biggie, but I just worked with Biggie's AI, right? So I just worked with Biggie's AI and did a banger. So people were dragging Timbaland. And so now what it looks like, he is actually leaning into this. So Timbaland is now exploring starting an AI based startup that will give current producers the opportunity to do work with stars who of yesteryear or have passed away.
Y'all, there's a lot of rabbit ears being thrown.
There's a lot of continue. Yeah. So he's basically saying like it'll be able to use this AI tool so that you can basically work with anybody. So the thing that he's trying to do is generate income for the estates by being able to use the AI of this person's voice or something to basically create new stuff. It's real wonky. Okay, I have thoughts about this. Sir Daniel, how do you feel about just this idea before I get into my thing?
You know, when they hit you with the, oh, well, we want to help. We want to generate money for these estates. That always, when they lead with that, that's when my antenna goes up and I'm like, this is very, you know, benevolent of you and everything, but is it really?
Right.
And so I'm just always skeptical. I'm skeptical of everything right now and how things are being handled. I just don't see any kind of loyalty to people anymore. I know people are more so loyalty to whatever is motivating them personally. You know, whether whether it's a bottom line and lining their pockets, I think that's what people are really motivated by. So I kind of take everything that people are, you know, like Timbaland, I take all of that with a grain of salt. It's like, okay, go with God, do what you think you can do over there with these ghost voices, and I'm not going to front. If Timbaland can if Timbaland can turn his back on Janet Jackson for Justin Timberlake, I don't put anything past him. It's whatever. It's like, okay, rock with it, Tim. We still love you. Still love everything you've done with Missy. Shout out to him and Missy. And I know Missy is doing some things, is working on some stuff. But hey, do you, Timbaland? You're gonna do it anyway, so do you?
Yeah. Ditto to everything you just said. I want to bring in a couple of comments from the chat. So I'm going to go way back. Mark McPherson said before they left Mississippi, TikTok was banned on state-owned and controlled devices. So that had already happened in Mississippi. And Trey, this is funny. Love Tim, hate this, but also Prince will haunt him from the grave. Now, if there's one estate that I know is not going to approve this, it's Prince's estate.
You're not touching that.
Prince's estate is going to be like, no. That's not what we're doing. So
you ain't getting no parts of Paisley Park. Sorry, bro.
At all.
It's not happening.
Yeah. So ditto everything that you said. And I also am at the tech dude in me, and I got to listen to the Tech John and see if they're going to talk about this week, because I want to get their thoughts. Shout out to the Tech John podcast. I'm happy that he's trying to grapple with this, because the reality is, and we've talked about this, the AI stuff ain't going nowhere. If after the FN Mika thing, we actually went a step further, it's like, oh no, this thing is going down. You know what I mean? So I'm happy that we have somebody, in particular a Black man, who's like, I'm going to grapple with this problem and try and come up with a solution, because it all comes down to money at the end of the
Sure.
day. Because money, legally copyright, but really money, right? You know what I'm saying? So I'm excited to see what comes of this. I don't know if I'm interested in AI Biggie verses. I don't think that's a thing for me, but you know.
Especially since we were there.
We were literally there.
You know, I could see, you know, a 12-year-old coming along and being introduced to this because they have no frame of reference for who the Notorious B.I.G. is and was, but it sounds good. I could see that maybe appealing to them. But maybe as we get older, things just aren't being made with us in mind, J. Ray. We may just have to grapple with that fact. The things just aren't being made for us or with us in mind. So there's that.
Well, there is a person who is making stuff with us in mind, and she is here with us today.
Ooh. The one and only. Should I go ahead and do this intro?
Please.
All right, let's do it. So Anna DeShawn. Anna, pronouns anything respectful, is a multi-award-winning podcaster, an Ambie Award-winning podcast producer and host. She is also a Chicago-born social entrepreneur who builds streaming platforms which center and celebrate BIPOC and QTPOC creatives. Media has always been her passion, and in 2009, she turned that passion into a reality when she founded E3 Radio, an online radio station playing queer music and reporting on queer news with an intersectional lens. Most recently, she co-founded the Qube, a podcast production company and curated platform to discover the best music and podcasts by BIPOC and QTPOC creatives. Anna is an award-winning podcaster determined to ride media into its next era by utilizing digital media streams to tell the stories and play the music that deserves to be heard. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to Q Points, the one, the only, Anna DeShawn.
You know what? If I knew you was gonna read the whole thing, you know how much I would have gave you? I would have gave you one sentence.
Listen,
friends of Q Points. Period. That's it. Good grief. I love y'all. What's happening?
How are you today?
Oh man, I made it. Okay. I made it. I made it. Right. I decided not to crawl up in my bed or on my couch today in a bar and not do nothing. I worked today, and I'm grateful to be here with y'all tonight. Hey, I love y'all. You already know. So this is
listen. I
wonderful.
Feel you on that. But naps, I'm part of the nap ministry, so hey, yeah. I subscribe.
Right.
I subscribe.
Yeah. Let me tell you, this was gonna be way more than a nap.
Oh, one of those. I get you.
Yes, child. But this is a blessing. It's so good to be here. J. Ray,
what's up? We're so glad to have you, Anna. So thank you so much for being here. And you wear a lot of hats. You know, we discussed so many of them in the bio. So you recently launched the Qube. We are so excited. So Q Points is on the Qube, by the way. So make sure that y'all get into that. Make sure you go and sign up. But can you talk to us, like catch us up on that? Catch us up on the Qube and tell us a little bit about the platform.
It's been a long time coming. And recently I wrote in my affirmation book that I want the Qube to be the #1 podcast listening app for people of color. Like that is actually what I want it to be. And I had never put it in so many terms before, but we deserve it. And we deserve our own podcast listening app, and we deserve a place where we can go and find the podcasts that we want to hear that are of quality and that are good in a range of topics, because we out here creating podcasts for everybody, you know. And it's so incredibly difficult to find us out here in this podcasting space. And I just feel like it's such a disservice. So the Qube is that spot. We're creating our own podcast. We're a podcast production company, as well as a place for you to discover the best BIPOC and QTPOC podcasts out here in the world.
Love it.
Awesome. And so this desire, this drive, like you started off by, you pretty much gave us your mission statement at the beginning. Where did that fire come from?
People not telling our stories. I mean, that's really why I started E3 Radio in 2009. There was nobody telling the stories of LGBTQ folks in Chicago. And I was like, this is wild. There's so many good things happening. There's so many amazing people in the community. Like, there's promoters that bring 300-400 people outside at one time to party. Like, why is no one reporting this? Why is no one telling these stories? And as someone who has always been a journalist, studied journalism, that's the path I wanted to go down. I've always known that there's value in owning our own media entities, telling our own stories. And I knew that the impact that media has on our everyday life, no matter how much we want to try to dismiss it, every path or anything that's happening politically, anything that's happening socially, you can just lead it back to media. Just go back there. What's the I know y'all was talking about TikTok being banned in Montana. Like, what's the hashtag? My wife, she'd be like, TikTok made me buy it. How? How TikTok make you buy it? We didn't even know what TikTok was 3 years ago. Like, how did TikTok make you buy it? That's the type of impact it can have. And we can't be left behind in this. This is our canon. Like, podcasting is our, write a novel.
Yeah. and to that point, like, you started an award-winning podcast, Queer News. So I actually want to ask you, what was kind of the impetus for creating Queer News as a podcast, and how did that come about?
It was a pivot from a morning show that I did called Wake Up with Anna and Friends. After I quit corporate, February 2021, I was like, I'm starting my own morning show. I mean, if you are in radio or Radiohead, the thing you want is a morning show. That is the most.
That's where the money is.
You know what I mean? It's in the mornings. People driving to work. Well, at least they used to.
Right.
So that's what I did. I was doing a daily morning show, and I would have guests on and interviews. It would play queer music the whole time. But I really just lost a lot of joy. It wasn't bringing me joy anymore. I didn't know what to do. It was 2 hours. I switched it to 1 hour. I still wasn't happy with it. And I'm like, I ain't quit corporate to be unhappy. Like, this is bizarre. So, like, what am I doing? And then I ended up going to Podfest, and then I went to Afros and Audio virtually. And I was like, the part I love about Wake Up with Anna Friends is the queer news portion. That was the most unique piece of what I was doing in the mornings. And after those two conferences, I was like, I should just make this into a podcast. And that's exactly what I did. November of 2021, we made it into a podcast.
Wow. And as of now, okay, I'm going to read this because I want to make sure I get all these words right. Queer News won the best DIY podcast at this year's, the 2023 Ambies. Congratulations again.
Yeah, that was amazing. Yes, that's true.
Yes. Why do you think folks have connected so much with the show? They're really passionate about this show.
It blows me away because it came out of a pivot. It wasn't something I thought of, right? Like, initially, I think that's part of the journey people keep reminding me to embrace. Okay, is that we really don't know. We don't know where the inspiration is going to come from or what people are going to take to. I can't tell y'all how many shows I've done over the years. Okay, I cannot tell you. And sometimes things just resonate. I think right now there's a few reasons queer news is important. One, there's just so much legislation happening politically against LGBTQ folks and specifically trans folks that people are invested in wanting to know the news. And at the end of the day, it's not mainstream media's job. No matter how much we want it to be, there's a whole world of people and a whole world of issues. And so every issue is not media or television's issue to report on. Not to mention, we know that the byline for newsrooms is if it bleeds, it leads. Like that is the thing. So
that's it.
What is the deadliest thing that happened today? That is considered to be the most important thing that happened today. Arguably so, because if it was your loved one, you probably want it to be the number one thing on the news, right? I do my best to put myself in other people's shoes when it comes to things like this. So we're not going to get that from mainstream media. And I think it is on us to tell our own stories and to connect with our audience. And so I think the people that tune in to Queer News are invested in knowing what's going on with the community. They also find value in local media and community-led media. And I think that they know it's important that we exist. And I'm really grateful to them for that.
Anna, you said a word that stuck out to me like a sore thumb a few minutes ago, and you said joy. The morning show wasn't giving you joy like it used to, right?
Yeah.
And so all of us here in this circle right now, like you said, have started projects, that we thought was going to be the one.
This is it.
This is it. This is my golden egg. This is what's going to take me to the top. This is what's going to get me out the hood, and I'm going to get my mama a house, all of that good stuff, right?
Right.
And so speaking, and it's easy for us to sit here and kind of talk that talk, but speaking to other podcasters, what are some of the tips that you have for podcasters that are trying to grow their platforms? What does it take? What maybe a couple nuggets, a couple gems that you can give to other people listening to right now that are in their planning phases and saying, okay, how do I make this work and how do I make the most impact?
Specificity. Be so clear, so stupid clear, no one gets it wrong ever. I believe so many podcasters get it wrong trying to be even more than 2 or 3 things to one audience. You can't. Like somebody was like, oh, don't be everything to everybody. It's not even about being everything because everybody ain't trying to be everything. But when you live at the intersections of so many identities, it's really challenging to pick one, this one or that one, or this one or that one for a show. That's why so many people have multiple shows. But really choose that one thing that you want to talk about and go all in on that one thing, right? Y'all have gone all in on music, period. Black music. Sure. You know what I mean? Very clear about that. Y'all could have gone a lot of different ways with all y'all identities here. And I'm not just talking about race and sexuality. I'm talking about where you from.
Yeah.
Like for Black people, where you from is so incredibly important. Like I lead with being from Chicago. And if you get real serious about it, I'm from the South Side, right? That should tell you a lot about me. You know what I'm saying? And so we have so many things we can touch on. It can be really hard to decide, but you really got to choose one. Because in the podcasting space, there's far too much out here for you not to be specific and clear about who you're trying to reach. So I would say specificity, and then community would be the next thing. Yeah.
Major keys, major keys, because niche lets people, first of all, if you, like you said, if you're niche driven, your people will find you. You'll find each other.
Right.
Like we have found our people with Qube Points for sure. So you heard it from Anna. Those you building that podcast, get as specific as possible.
Absolutely. And to that point, I just want to send love to the folks that are here with us. Y'all, these folks come, like I'm seeing Mark, I'm seeing Trey, like these folks come every week. You know what I'm saying? To be part of this experience. So, Mark is shouting out. Come on, Southside 86 in South
87th,
Jeffrey.
87th. Get it right. In South Jeffrey.
Right.
Okay.
Shout out.
I see you.
I love that. So, Anna, you have the Qube as a platform. There are probably folks who are listening or watching right now that are like, oh my God, I want to get down. I'm just learning about the Qube. How can folks be included with the Qube? What can they do?
100%. You can go visit the website today, the Qube.app, TheQube.app. Check out our platform that exists today. Eventually, we'll have a mobile application. Today, it's a web application. I'm excited about that. You have an opportunity to discover about 90 different podcasts by Black and brown creators, queer creators of color here in the platform. Like literally you can listen on the Qube. Like this is the deal. This is what we're doing. And so if you're not a podcaster, become a user of the platform and listen to your favorite podcast inside the Qube. If you are a podcaster, submit your podcast. Join the Qube. It's free. I'm not asking nobody for no fees. This isn't that type of deal. We just need to prove and show that we care enough to create an account, that we care enough to listen, right? We'll worry about all the other stuff later. I am playing the long game here. When you talk about having a number one podcast listening app, I mean, we're talking about Apple and Spotify too, okay? Mm-hmm. So I'm talking about us though. And us takes time. It's going to take word of mouth. It's going to take us continuing to listen to our people and what we're building and what they want and learning all at the same time, and also figuring out how we make money. You know what I mean? And I don't believe it's from creators. I think it's from the people who want to reach the listeners that our creators are reaching, mm-hmm. right? And showing the value that we bring to the table and in podcasting. So that's just going to take a little bit of time, but I believe we're going to figure it out. Yeah. I think we're going to figure it out.
Cool. And that's what we do. And before we came on air, Anna, you and I, we go to the same church. We subscribe to the same religion. We're part of the Nat ministry. Because I believe in listening to my body, and if I need to take a rest, I need to take a rest right then and there. But seriously, when you have a lot going on like you do, what keeps you inspired, first of all? Mm-hmm. And what do you do to keep yourself focused, but at the same time energized to keep moving?
Yeah. So it's so interesting. I have a prayer corner, and I just recently broke the longest streak I've ever had. And it's because it's just entrepreneurship is a roller coaster ride, literally and figuratively. And at this very moment, I'm in like this downside of this roller coaster ride, but it's my stuff. It's not anything that's happening out here in the world. Like good things are happening. Don't get me wrong. I'm extremely blessed, but there's a lot of other things happening too. And so I had gone 148 days straight of listening to my affirmations. And I just broke that yesterday. I almost did a half a year every day of listening to my affirmations. I realized I know why. It's just these moments come and you don't feel like following the routine. Mm-hmm. You don't feel like waking up and going to the corner and having your moment with God, no matter what the moment looks like, or your divine, or however you center yourself. But that is traditionally when I'm at my very best. That's what I do because I need quiet time. I just need it. I need time by myself that's not inhibited by emails and notifications and something else I forgot. Because Lord knows, grateful for grace. Okay, I forget a lot of stuff. My wife is so frustrated with me. It's like, I just told you that. I was like, do you know how much I have to remember? Mm-hmm. Okay, all the things. And so in the morning, I wake up. If I'm at my best, I'm in my prayer corner, writing an affirmation, looking at pictures of my ancestors, lighting a candle, listening to some good music. Recently, it was God Is James Cleveland. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I was so old school. Okay, y'all see where I'm at with this roller coaster. Okay, I didn't say like Jonathan McReynolds or like.
You went to that deep place. Yeah,
I went to the organ. Okay, and like full out choir, 100-person piece choir. Like, yeah, that's where I've been. But that's what helps to ground me.
I totally get it. I don't know if it's a Virgo thing, but I'm the same way. In the morning, it's like I got to, if I can't get centered, the rest of the day is just not going to go my way. But no, I'm with you, Anna, and I feel you. Like I was telling J-Red at the beginning, we're at the end of Mercury retrograde or whatever we're in right now. That's finishing up. So a lot of great things are happening. First of all, we get to talk to you. That's one. But then next, after this quick break, we are going to talk about like this renaissance that queer, especially queer Black women, are having in music right now. There's a moment going on. People are getting shaken because of breasts being exposed and everything. So we got to talk about it right here on Q Points Podcast, because that's what we do, dropping the needle on Black music history. You keep listening, and we'll be right back after this quick break.
We are back, y'all. Thank y'all so much for that was hilarious. We were like, oh, we got 9 seconds. Thank y'all so much for being here. And thank you to Anna DeShawn for being here and hanging out with us for this music topic. We appreciate it. And thank you all in the chat. I see Tandy is in the chat. Of course, we have Mark. Yeah, good to see you. We have Mark McPherson. We have Trey, of course. And we know that we have other folks that are tuning in as well. So wherever you are, make sure that you tune in. But as DJ Sir Daniel said before we went to break, we are having a moment right now in music, particularly Black queer women are impacting pop culture in so many ways right now. This isn't new, right? You know, the reality is it's not new. My provocative statement is that Black queer women have always been on the vanguard of us being able to see Blackness more expansively, see gender more expansively, and all of that. And it's been really dope to see kind of this moment. But the first time that me and Sir Daniel actually started having this conversation was around the time that the Brat announced her pregnancy. There was a lot of conversation about that moment. And it kind of thrust. The Brat has always been working, right? So she's been on the radio and on the dish
television.
and on television for forever. But it was like all of a sudden her pregnancy recentered her, not just as a pop culture figure, but also revisiting kind of her music legacy. So I wanted to talk a bit about that moment because the Brat's history is really interesting. She's from Chicago. Her history.
She's from the South Side, West Side. Okay.
West Side, yeah.
So her music career was an interesting one, and I wanted to just kind of have us really quickly talk about that because she's been through a lot of changes leading to her coming out. And I thought we would start there as like an interesting conversation.
I mean, she's an anomaly. And forget the fact that she's Black and queer. I mean, she's really literally one of a kind because, and she had the opportunity to be the Brat at a time where a lot of women were wearing baggy clothes. Like there was a lot of artists that had oversized shirts on. Like it was the 90s. Like it wasn't odd that was a thing. If you TLC, I mean, there was just this thing of baggy, right? And you could have very well, we all thought something, but how we always move is unless they say it out loud, we ain't out nobody. And it just is what it is, right? We can have all the ideas in the world we want, but unless they say it, whatever. And we already know it was an unforgiving time in the music industry. I just think what the Brat did was just so incredibly unprecedented. And still, yet she feared coming out. I mean, that should say a whole hell of a lot. I mean, that should say a whole hell of a lot. And then she just got into so much trouble. Right? There was a stint where she was just in trouble and in trouble. But we also know how easy that is to happen when you're not living your authentic life, like your authentic self, when you're not happy with who you are, or you got a lot of stuff to deal with. And you probably got a lot of money. You can do whatever you want with it, right? And that's something a lot of us will never understand. But I mean, her legacy, I just heard her recently, like last summer here in Chicago. And she was up there freestyling, doing her mic check and like her audio check. It was sick. Like, what is happening right now? Like, we're hearing one of the best lyricists, period. Like, one of the fastest too.
Right.
Like, no one talks about that either, but she got bars.
That's absolutely everything that you said is correct. I think we just can't negate, like you said, Anna, the fact that when she came around, like her debut was in 94, she was right on the precipice of that shift. You know, she was right there at that shift where we had, you know, the Kims and Kim and Fox be introduced to the game. But even when Kim and Fox came with their very polarizing identities and the way they presented themselves, the Brat was still welcomed in. You know, the Brat was still a part of that movement. The Brat was a part of the Not Tonight remix, which is one of the biggest, if not one of the most important female rap posse cuts ever. There's never been another one made like it. And so I think I wonder what you all think about the fact that there might be some type of privilege for our queer women artists in those spaces, even in hip hop, because even before the Brat, there are MCs that have been, you know, we've had questions about, and that
I'm gonna leave that there.
And most recently,
I love how you said MCs. Okay, in particular,
right?
Okay, very good.
And most recently, that some of those questions now have answers, and without any kind of announcements,
right?
Which is so. I just think it's so. I think there is also maybe some type of privilege that a lot of the women have, and what do you think about that? As far as maybe a privilege to our women artists, especially in the realm of hip hop, because here we are 50 years later in hip hop, and we've had plenty of women come through who have been able to wear their sexuality or to be able to present however they present and not really feel a whole lot of backlash. Whereas we're only now having maybe like a Santana, Saucy Santana, and a Lil Nas X completely blow the roof off with how they're presenting to the masses.
You know what? Thank you so much for that, because I absolutely agree that I think that women in hip hop have had more opportunities to have, and this is Black music in general, more opportunities to have more expansive expressions of sexuality and gender. I'm sure there's been difficulty in that for them personally, but we've also seen it. I'm wondering, picking up on your question, Sir Daniel, because I'm curious to maybe if that privilege is mostly extended to those women who might be more aligned to a masculine presenting, because I don't know that I've seen it outside of that. Like, I'm thinking of like Young M.A. I'm thinking of course, the Brat. And so I think there might be some privilege, but I also think that there is an alignment to what masculinity that's in there as well that makes that maybe has made men in hip hop more comfortable. That I think,
but everything has been through a man's lens, right? Everything is presented through a male gaze, for the male gaze, and through a man's lens. Because we're not just going to act like from 99 to 2000, the Brat was walking around with halter tops and full makeup beat and hair done, and talking about, you know, having Tyrese rubbing on her, right? And, you know, that's the thing that happened. But I'm pretty certain that happened at the behest of the label and folks saying, "Hey, look, times are changing." But Anna, as a woman, as somebody who consumes music, consumes hip hop, how did that make you feel in that moment when you saw her present that way. I mean, she made that shift that I'm going super femme on you guys at this moment.
I wasn't surprised, right? Because of the things you said, or it's exactly what's going through my mind. I mean, it was still going through labels at that time. And you had to be appealing to the male gaze. I mean, we also think about Eve that came along too.
Yeah.
She was the only woman in that crew, just half naked and doing her thing. And she made it work for her, you know. But I think about Queen Latifah and I think about Missy and they were all together, right?
Yeah.
And not to anything about Missy's identity. I don't know anything about that. But just the way she presents is different than Kim.
Yeah.
And
sure.
And she made her own way. But I think that we can definitely see the differences between how they came along and other people who haven't made it, that, you know, like the Sayas of the world, the Aina Briones of the world. I mean, Young and May, I mean, she's as close to the next anomaly as the Brat was of her time. Because if you're that masculine center, usually you didn't make it very far because they wanted you to be the Brat of the late 90s into the 2000s. And she did her own thing. But it's in rap, you know what I'm saying? And she's and her stuff, boy, it's misogynistic. It's all the things. It's everything you expect from a rap album, okay? And she ain't breaking no molds, but she got an audience and she doing her thing. You know what I mean? But it's definitely different. And I think it just mirrors what happens in life too, as far as women having the opportunity to expand who they are sexually and men not being able to, period. The acceptance of queer men in music is in alignment with queer men in life, right? And effeminate men in life.
Yeah.
Women and have always been free to explore, and we've pigeonholed men to do the same. So I think it just, music and life mirror each other in that way.
You just said something that I think leads us into a conversation that helped to expand this topic of, you know, women being able to be more expansive in their presentation of themselves sexually, etc. And we have Janelle Monae in this moment, right? Right. Who?
Thank you, Janelle.
Yes.
That's all I gotta say. I got like 3 more thank you videos. I got like 3 more. I'm gonna post one tonight.
You know, of like Lipstick Lover show, like literally crash landing of like, wait, hey, yes, what's happening here? This is. Go ahead.
She said her titty's gonna be out for the next 15 years. That's what she said.
Listen, and y'all gonna deal with it.
Thank you. I say thank you.
And she has also, what I love about it is it's interesting seeing, it was interesting for me seeing folks' reactions because she's kind of been doing this for several years now. I'm like, I didn't see this as a complete departure.
No,
it's not.
And so that's what was interesting.
But if you ain't tapped into Janelle Monae since Tightrope, then I guess you're a little behind. I mean,
right. Because Dirty Computer
right.
She really was warming us up with Dirty Computer, like with the vagina pants and everything. Like, if you didn't know then, and she made her her comments. But you know, I think people are, maybe it's because we're on the verge of losing so much freedom that people are just going the complete opposite and just flying in the face of the realities that the powers that be are trying to enforce upon us, and just saying, you know what, I'm going to rebel in the rawest form that I can, and if that means I gotta show my breasts, if that means I have to be in this video kissing other women and displaying and showing different forms of people expressing themselves sexually at a pool party, that's what I'm going to do. So I really think it's, you know, they forced us to do this. Like the powers that be have kind of forced people into this the same way when Prohibition forced people to the underground clubs and the speakeasies, and you had all this new forms of expression coming out. We're probably about to see something some more stuff coming from the new creatives that are cropping up?
Sir Daniel, I thank you for that spark of insight, because you're right. When we think about the music that we grew up on, child, they was pushing boundaries like nobody's business, but they were doing it in the face of these very conservative and oppressive structures, right? Of like, I am still going to create. We get people like Grace Jones out of that, right? We get people like Prince out of that. And to your point, I think we're back at that place of like, they are trying to suppress our ability to express so much that it's like, okay, look, listen, we're just going to show you better than we can tell you.
And I also think we've learned that respectability politics doesn't keep us safe. Right? Respectability politics has not saved us. It made us quite miserable, actually. Right? And I think our generation knows that. And so why are we wasting our time trying to do something else, or trying to fit some white supremacist idea of what being a good gay is? You know what I mean? Like, what I don't got time for that. Right? We should let us love on Janelle Monae for all the goodness she is bringing to the world. Okay. I mean, I watched that whole video like, I want to invite to the pool party. Period. Right. I just want to be at the pool party. And we need artists to do that, because some people feel very safe with respectability politics. It is very safe for them, and they should. You should do what's safe for you. But we need artists who have courage, like Janelle Monae, like the Lil Nas X's of the world, right? And just like all these other queer artists who are choosing to be out, choosing not to do what many think they should do and be themselves. We need that, because we need representation. We have to know that we are out here, because if we look at politics, child, politics and pop culture are going in two very opposite directions. Yes. And we have to ensure that what is pop and what is social culture will continue to be able to push the envelope. Because if not, politics will have us, back in the closet, repressed, and going through conversion therapy if we let them.
Ooh, wow. It's so funny that you bring that up, because guys, before we came on, we were discussing the Little Richard documentary, I'm Everything. And we were talking about the various phases of Little Richard, from Tutti Frutti to, Jesus is Love, and denouncing homosexuality, going through those cycles throughout his life. And we can't neglect, and we cannot pay homage to all of those who came before us and who faced, not only were they facing Jim Crow, and this is even before the civil rights movement. They were facing Jim Crow. They were facing death, not only just for being black, but if you add being queer on top of that, that was a double death sentence. But there was a chitlin circuit, of entertainers, a circuit where they can go and be themselves and perform to everybody, specifically in the black community, because that's who we perform for. But there are a lot of OGs that were really putting it down in the beginning. You think about the Ma Rainey's and the Bessie Smiths, the Sister Rosetta Tharpes. I can't even imagine like the turmoil that they went through to put their name, to etch their name in history. But at the same time, they probably had a ball. They probably had a really good time.
They did.
Too.
Yeah. Okay. All the alcohol. Okay. Yes. They had a ball. We know they did.
They were getting twisted.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And they had each other. They also had all the drama. Like, let us not romanticize it all. They also had their own drama. Yeah. And I also want to evoke Gladys Bentley's name in all of this too. Because her suit wearing masculine self, at every chance I get, I tell her story, because she in fact changed, right? And she had to give in to the pressure to make a living. And so the iconic photo of her in her suit is one thing, but then seeing her on television in a full out dress, killing the keys, and giving all her gift, but having to show up, and I think it was an Ebony interview too that she had to give, or Jet at the time, about why she was changing who she was and how she appeared in the world, but that chilling circuit, it gave people a space to be and make a living, and a place where Black people could go and hear their music and not have to worry about all the other evil forces of the world that was working around them.
One of the things for all of these folks, in particular, I think of Sister Rosetta Tharpe, but of course it applies to all of the artists that we're talking about. The idea that these folks not only were fully embracing who they were in themselves and their fullness as much, and being as them as they could, right, in this time that really didn't want them to be, but also reconciling that with spirituality. So I think of Sister Rosetta Tharpe with this guitar playing this spiritual music, killing, just wearing people out, and also being a person who was most likely bisexual, right? Because that's been the thing. It's like not confirmed, but most likely. So thinking about the king of rock and roll and the queen of rock and roll being queer people, like Black queer folks, is like, wow, we have given this to the world, and it's important that we celebrate these OGs too, and the work. To your point, it was hard for them, and they did it anyway.
Yeah, and we have an opportunity to tell their full story, the story they couldn't tell. We have an opportunity to do that, and I think it would be a disservice if we didn't.
Yeah.
Right. Because I think it speaks to so much more. I think you look at their music different. You listen to their lyrics different if you know more about the full person and the full story. And so often, right, folks did have to leave their sexuality out for safety.
Yeah.
For safety and for the need to make a living. And today we have an opportunity to actually tell their full stories and show that, man, their bravery, their courage. Anytime anybody says anything like that to me, I'd be like, absolutely not. Right. Let's talk about some of these ancestors, okay? Who, I mean, our times were just completely different.
Yeah.
We have a lot of stuff to fight, but the time is different when it comes to that piece.
Yeah.
I also think about, I want to fast forward to the late 80s. I'll never forget the was it Rite Aid? It was a huge concert.
Live Aid?
Live Aid. Rite Aid.
Where am I going?
I was
Sorry,
like, we're about to go into a story. No, it was a story.
Y'all know what I meant. Live Aid. And this young woman, sitting on a stool with her guitar, dark skin, mini twists, not a lick of makeup on her face, and she's just singing her heart out, and goes on to win a Grammy later on, later on that year. I'm talking about Tracy Chapman, of course.
Yeah.
Like, we don't talk about Tracy, mostly because Tracy is like, I did what I had to do. I got my Grammys. I got my money.
Right.
My wife, I'm out. Y'all can have all of this. Y'all can have this.
I don't think Tracy cares if we talk about her or not. Honestly, right. I don't think she cares if anybody don't know who she is.
She really does.
She makes no effort. She could care less.
Yeah.
She's like, I did my thing, like you said, Sir Daniel.
Yeah.
I think the last thing, the one time that she kind of popped her head out is when that whole debacle with the Nicki Minaj sampling. Of her song, and whether or not it was clear, but that was about it. It was like, well, I got lawyers to handle that. But we have people like a Tracy Chapman that we could look at a time when she did not fit the beauty standard.
Yep.
Her sexuality never came up, but it was like they didn't want to talk about it, clearly, because she needed to make this money. And I think that might have affected how she was marketed, because Tracy Chapman really wasn't marketed to the Black community.
No.
She was not marketed towards us, but she still is part of us. That's our music. That's ours. All of that is ours. And so I think about her, and then she was like the predecessor to Michelle Ndegeocello.
Oof.
who,
My
you know,
God.
I know, but J Ray, that's J Ray's idol right there. But you know,
Yeah.
to think that she, you know, Michelle kind of navigated through hip hop, but then brought her instrumentation to it, and just, but the way she presented, again at that time, not falling into the typical brackets of what beauty was supposed to be, or how artists were supposed to present themselves, and that was pretty bold. Again, considering how record labels are supposed to market you. Are you going to be black enough? Are white people going to like you? So many factors to consider when you are trying to be yourself in this music industry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one.
And I think,
Go ahead, Anna.
Oh no, I'm just saying. But they both also chosen not to be out here in the world anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
Like
they both
yeah.
are kind of recluse a little bit, you know. They're not accessible to people. If you ask a young person who either of those people are, they have no idea. Right.
That's true.
And I think that's such a disservice, because they didn't know that there was a representation before maybe the latest artists, you know, because but they're doing it for their own safety and their own peace of mind, I'm sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Absolutely.
And I think about Toshi Reagan too.
Oh,
because
yeah. Oh my gosh, yes.
I mean, so talented from a musical family.
Yes.
And hasn't had the success she deserves.
Right.
It's also Hanifa Walida, that whole movement that she had, and I think in New York and out east.
Wow.
There have been a lot of possibility models and really amazing artists who were just way ahead of their time. And artists I think this generation would embrace, you know, if they decide to make a TikTok or something.
I think you are sparking something in me. So I'm actually going to see Michelle in June. So she'll be here in June, and I haven't seen her. She's actually the artist. She now beats the Roots. At first, it was I had seen the Roots more than anybody, but Michelle, and it's funny because I was seeing them in the same era of time when she was like doing a ton of touring, but I've seen Michelle. Now she will be the most, especially when I go see her in June. And what you're sparking for me, Anna, is the fact that I should snatch up one of my little cousins that really doesn't know her music and take them to experience it, because you're absolutely right. Michelle's about to drop a record. I think June 16th it comes out. Every project is amazing. And I think it's introducing, because she's not going to be on TikTok doing a dance or trying to put a song on there. Taking a young person who's really interested in music. So I'm thinking about some of my cousins. I probably need to buy another ticket and just take somebody who's younger along, because it's important that folks know her, important that folks know Tracy Chapman, because they've paved the way for some of these newer folks that are moving in these really cool ways that we're seeing. But yeah, I'm taking that in. I think somebody needs to go with me to see Michelle in June.
I love that. Can it be me?
Wait. Yes. If you're gonna be... Listen, she's every time I've seen her, she's been amazing. So I don't know. I haven't seen her in so many years. So I'm excited to just take in this new stuff. But you know, thinking about a lot of new folks. So there's the Sids of the world, the Tiffany Gouchets, who've been you know, Jazzy, who I just got hip to through DJ Sir Daniel, killing it, who are out here like, we are going to give you this music. We are going to sing and give it and just, or rap, and really, really, really make an impact. Is really inspiring watching this new crowd.
Yeah, they're talented. They're all really great. I mean, you also have Kehlani is out here doing her thing. What is SZA's sexuality exactly? I think she's queer. I'm just gonna say that. I'm almost saying.
Allegedly.
You know what I'm saying? Allegedly queer. And then I've always been a fan of Jessica Betts. She's from Chicago, and then like her profile, just really blew up, marrying Niecy Nash. But she was on like Queen Latifah's show, and she conformed too. Late 90s, early 2000s. You can get her looking real femme for a minute, trying to make it out here in these streets. But I see her dropping music every now and then. I hope she drops an album soon. But I think people are feeling free, and I think it's because of the parts of the country where queer folks are able to be themselves. So most of these people are making music in LA. Some folks are making the music in New York. These are places where people feel free to be exactly who they are, and in ways that haven't been possible before. They are all making good music, and that's actually why we continue. We just it's funny, I say we cleaned out the straights, but I love straights, okay? The straights, me and you are very cool, but we were just we cleared out all the straights out of the radio station, and we're gonna be launching in June, all queer all day.
Yes, congratulations, E3.
Yeah, we're gonna be queer all day. I used to say queer in high rotation because I still wanted to hear Beyonce, but then I realized, that we can hear Beyonce anytime,
right?
And
facts.
And I really want to amplify queer artists because they are making good music and they're able to be more free. And I think about Big Frida and how queer she is out here in the world and from the South. And the representation she receives, it's unprecedented. Unprecedented. She is, because Prince was, you're right. Big Frida's able to be all of who she is because of that. And yeah, I think it's just really dope what they're putting out here. And they're feeding off each other. And also women just in their sexuality in general. And it's feeding over in the podcasting. Like Meg Thee Stallion and Carisha talking about all their sexual exploits on the pod. Like, what is happening? It ain't in their music, but it's in their life. You know what I mean? So I think overall there's just greater acceptance, and so it's allowing for them to be exactly who they are and speaking and singing to their women. Not having to code switch. I'm in love with him. Yeah,
it's like we mentioned Jazzy. Her album is called Songs for Women or Songs About Women, and you're absolutely right. I also want to take this moment to to make space for the sisters that are creating spaces. I just saw DJ Dimples is doing, I think maybe her 10th anniversary of Sweet Heat, which is a circuit all women party that has been going on for years. And I think, those things have to be celebrated because if people don't accept you have to create your own spaces.
Right.
And so when you have somebody like DJ Dimples creating spaces, and there's plenty of other promoters that have created spaces for queer women specifically, I think you got to recognize that, because those are also opportunities I'm hoping for queer music to be played, as well as for artists to perform. So shout out to them for doing that. And as for the future of music, what do we hope for the future of music inspired by the people that we're discussing?
And it's just radically queer.
Yeah.
I want it to be so gay. So gay that it annoys people. Like I want people to be like, I wish they would just stop. That's how queer I want it to be.
And I co-sign that, Anna. Like, it is, I'm hoping that it inspires more freedom. And I hope it begins to spill over more easily for the men too, right? I'm hoping that as we begin to open more doors and become more free, that also the men see how we can make space as well to do that and walk in the footsteps that have been paved by like a Prince and some of the folks that have come before. So yeah, I'm hoping for more freedom in the music and in the expression.
Absolutely. I think you guys have wrapped it up in a nice queer bow. So shout out to y'all for that.
A rainbow.
A rainbow.
A
A
rainbow.
rainbow. But time has flown by, but J Ray, we've actually had Anna DeShawn on the show. We finally got her.
Honored.
We finally got her on Q Points. We did it. Before we check out of here, Anna, please let the people know how they can get in contact with you and how they can stay in touch.
100%. I would love for y'all to visit the Qube.app, TheQube.app, create an account, join the platform, tell a friend. Follow us at the Qube app across all your favorite social media platforms. And then follow me at Anna DeShawn, also across your favorite social media platforms. And, if you really like us, sign up for the newsletter. It's the little things, okay? It's a listen. It's a newsletter ad. It's a tell a friend. All these things are free. Mm-hmm. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Absolutely. J Ray.
Listen,
and
folks,
you do the same thing.
Absolutely. Listen, as you know, we love y'all so much. Shout out to Carlton. I don't know if we shouted out Carlton, who is in the chat, is here as well. Demetrius
had a birthday.
Demetrius is up in the chat. Shout out. Wait a minute. Carlton just had a birthday? Did I miss Carlton's birthday?
Carlton is birthday twins with Janet Jackson.
I did not, of all people. Of course
he would be. Of all people. Of course he's birthday twins with Janet Jackson. So shout out to you, Carlton.
Shout out to you, Carlton. So please, folks, you can, if you're listening to us wherever you're listening, go ahead and subscribe. Wherever you're watching, go ahead and subscribe to Q Points. If you want to become a Q Points insider, go ahead and visit our website at qpoints.com and click on the subscribe button, and you can become a Q Points insider. And you can, of course, shop our store, get some good merch, do the whole thing, and all of that. So there's all the ways you can stay connected.
Yes. Oh, matter of fact, Jerry and I were talking about new merch, guys. Listen,
we got some ideas.
Hot. We have some ideas. And it's gonna be much needed. So we just need to figure out who's gonna make it. But yeah, we got something coming for y'all. But listen, what do I always say each and every single episode? In this life, you have the opportunity because you have a choice. You can either pick up the needle or you can let the record play. Once again, I am DJ Sir Daniel.
My name is J Ray, y'all. That is Anna DeShawn.
That is Anna DeShawn. And this is Q Points Podcast, dropping the needle on Black music history. We will see you on the next go round.
Peace.